Hello, everybody. So I've been getting a few questions about this assignment towards the end about trig values of special angles. So just remember, you can always watch a video or use a hint if necessary. But basically, all of these answers are going to help by thinking about the unit circle here. So if you notice, it may be best for us to look at it in degrees first. There's only a few values that just show up repeated, right? 1 and 0 for 0, 90, 180, right? Where in this case, the x value is the cosine, the y value is the sine. If you notice for 30, right, it's the cosine, the x value is going to be larger than the sine value, the y value. So it's root 3 over 2, 1/2. Again, if you square both these values, add them, you would get 1, right? The unit circle is telling us that the radius is 1, or if you think of it as a triangle, the hypotenuse would be 1. 30, if we add 30 to that to get 60, you see it's the same values, just the cos and sine or the x and y are inverted. For 45, it's just root 2 over 2, root 2 over 2. So if we go into our our second quadrant, you see just that since the x value is negative, the cos is negative, but the sine is positive. In our third quadrant, both the cosine and sine are negative, which would mean when we take their ratio, the tangent would be positive. And then we got the last quadrant here where the cos is positive and the sine is negative. So let's go back to the assignment here and take a look. So the cosine of 240. Well, what jumps out to me right now, if I just were to think about this visually, is that it's more than 180 but less than 270, which would be 3/4 of the way around the circle. So it's 30 less than 270. So it's sort of a 60-degree angle below the x-axis over here, right? This 240. And you could even use a unit circle for this assignment if necessary, if you aren't seeing it quite yet and aren't memorizing it. But this is going to be my cos and that's going to be my sine. So negative 1/2 and root 3 over 2. Let's try it. And then for my sine, it's going to be negative. I think it's both negative, like we said, because it's in that third quadrant. There we go. Next question. This is basically going to be the same thing, but right away I see this is a multiple of 45. It's 45 less. So I don't even need to pull up my unit circle because of my experience here. I know it's just going to be root 2 over 2, and since it's the third quadrant, they'll both be negative. Let's see. Got it. And then the next one is giving it to me in radians. So I know pi is 180. So this is just 1/3 pi's more than 180. So 1/3 of pi is 60, so that'll be just 60 below. So if I think about it here, the cos I think it's again in my third quadrant, it's just going to be negative 1/2 and negative root 3 over 2, because if we look here, 4/3 pi, right here, it's just half over, and then the larger side is the sine or the y value. So let's see if we got it. I'm going to try to keep this video under 5 minutes. This one is going to be 45 more, again in the third quadrant. Wow, they're giving me a lot. So that's just going to be the root 2 over 2. Again, both negative, but this time it's just in radians. Let's see. So it looks like we got all 4 there. I would pull up this link here. I'll post it for you. This is the Math is Fun Geometry Unit Circle post. You can even save it as a PDF. There's a link right there. You may have noticed that I have the clock in my room, which is a unit circle clock. And it can be quite helpful because these are some identities. I'll also post a video. There's a really easy trick to have all these actually right on your right hand. So I'll show you how that works in a moment. Hope everybody's doing well, and I hope you found this video interesting. Much love, everybody.